Let me ask you something. How many times have you found yourself giving more than you've received? How many moments have passed where you've put the needs of others before your own, hoping they'd see your worth only to be taken for granted? It's time to stop. Stop letting others take advantage of your kindness, your energy, your time, and your compassion. You deserve better than this. You were not put on this earth to be a doormat for others to walk all over. But what if I told you that, somewhere along the line, you gave them permission to do so? That's right, you did it without even realizing it. And the worst part? It's time to reclaim your power and take control of the situation, before you lose even more of yourself in the process. Think back to the times when you've put others ahead of you. Maybe it was a friend, a family member, or even a colleague. You've made sacrifices, and with each one you thought that maybe, just maybe, they'd notice your efforts and reciprocate. But instead of appreciation, you were met with expectations. They expected you to give more and more without considering the toll it took on you. How did it feel? Did you feel used, taken for granted? This pattern, my friend, is a destructive one. And you are the one who has allowed it to continue. It's not your fault, though. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that giving is noble and selflessness is a virtue. The idea of helping others at the expense of our own happiness has been ingrained in us for years. But this mindset is flawed. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you don't start taking care of your own needs, you'll eventually have nothing left to give, and guess what? Those same people you've been bending over backward for will still be expecting more. This is the danger of letting others take advantage of you. It drains your soul. It destroys your spirit. But here's the thing, we've all been there. I get it, it's difficult to say no when people are constantly asking for your help. It's hard to set boundaries when you're used to being the person that everyone turns to. But do you know what happens when you say yes all the time? You become predictable. You become the one everyone knows they can rely on without question. And at first it feels good. You're the hero, the savior, the one who always steps up to help. But over time it becomes draining. It starts to eat away at your energy. And before you know it, you've given so much of yourself that there's little left to offer. Do you want to keep living like this? Of course not. You're better than that. You deserve to be respected, not used. You deserve to have your needs met too. But here's the reality. You cannot expect others to give you the same treatment if you don't set clear boundaries. And setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. You need to stand firm in your worth and make it clear that your time, energy, and resources are not limitless. Because guess what? If you don't speak up, they will continue to take advantage of you, and nothing will ever change. It's time to stop letting people walk all over you. If you want to regain control of your life and your relationships, you have to take a stand. You have to get comfortable with the idea of saying no when necessary. You have to stop worrying about disappointing people who don't care about you as much as you care about them. Remember, your time is valuable, your energy is precious, and you should never have to give more than you're willing to lose. This isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about respecting yourself. You have to prioritize your own well-being. Now let's talk about the psychology behind it. Why do we allow others to take advantage of us? Why do we tolerate behavior that leaves us feeling depleted and unappreciated? It's because we have an innate desire to please others. It's part of human nature to want to be liked, to want to feel valued, to want to make a positive impact on the people around us. But when you prioritize the happiness and comfort of others over your own well-being, you're essentially training people to take advantage of you. And the longer you continue this cycle, the harder it becomes to break free. When you give too much without receiving, you're not just neglecting yourself. You're sending the message that you don't value yourself enough to demand respect. And trust me, others pick up on this. They see your willingness to overextend, and they think, why not ask for more? And if you keep saying yes, guess what? They keep asking. The cycle continues, and before you know it, you've lost yourself in the process. But here's the good news, you have the power to change it. You have the power to put an end to the exploitation and start taking control of your life. It all starts with recognizing your worth and making the decision to stand up for yourself. It might be uncomfortable at first, trust me, I know. But with every no you say, you're reclaiming your time, your energy, and your respect. You're telling the world I matter. You're saying I will not allow myself to be used any longer. And do you know what happens when you start standing up for yourself? People will begin to respect you more. They'll stop expecting you to bend over backwards for them because they'll realize that you're not a pushover. It's not about being rude or selfish. It's about setting boundaries. And here's the most important thing you need to know. Boundaries aren't just for other people. They're for you. They're the line you draw in the sand that says, this is where I end and you begin. They are the way you protect your peace, your happiness, and your sanity. You have every right to say no, to say I can't right now, or to walk away from situations that drain you. Stop letting others take advantage of you. It's time to stand tall, take back control, and make sure you're treated with the respect and kindness you deserve. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you been in a situation where someone asked you for something, and you felt almost obligated to say yes, even when you knew deep down it wasn't in your best interest? The guilt, the anxiety, the overwhelming pressure to do what they wanted. It's like a weight that pulls you down, making you feel like you have no choice but to comply. But why? Why do we let this happen? Why do we allow others to manipulate us with guilt, expectation, and emotional pressure? It's time to wake up and realize your worth is not defined by how much you give to others, and the sooner you stop letting others take advantage of your generosity, the sooner you'll start to reclaim your own life. We've all been there. Someone close to you, someone you care about, asks for a favor. At first, it seems like a small thing. Maybe it's a favor you can easily do, or maybe it's something that on the surface seems insignificant. But over time, those little favors add up. Suddenly, you're the one they turn to every time they need something, and it feels like you can't say no. And the worst part is, they don't even have to ask outright anymore. They've learned that all they have to do is hint at needing something, and you'll jump into action without hesitation. The truth is, saying yes all the time doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a tool for others to use. You have to ask yourself, when was the last time someone asked you for something and thought about what you needed? When did someone pause to consider the toll their requests might be taking on you? You see, this is a one-sided dynamic. It's a relationship built on imbalance, and the only way to fix it is by taking a hard look at yourself and your boundary. If you keep bending over backward for others, there will be no one left to stand up for you. It's not easy to change this dynamic. In fact, it can feel like you're letting people down, like you're disappointing those you care about. But the truth is, if they truly cared about you, they would understand when you say no. They would respect your limits, but they don't, because why would they? They're getting exactly what they want. Your time, your energy, and your selflessness, all at the cost of your well-being. And you're giving it to them. You're handing over your power willingly, and it's time to take that power back. Now I want you to think about this. What's the cost of constantly saying yes to everyone? Have you ever considered how it impacts your own life? The opportunities you miss out on, the rest you deprive yourself of. The dreams that get put on hold because you're too busy taking care of everyone else. What are you losing? The truth is, every time you say yes to someone else's needs, you're saying no to your own. And at what point does that stop being acceptable? But here's the kicker. Many people in your life know exactly how to take advantage of you. They know which buttons to press, which emotional triggers to hit, and they do it without hesitation. They know that you're afraid of saying no, that you're terrified of disappointing them or letting them down. So they keep asking. And the more you give, the more they take. And before you realize it, you've been sucked dry and they've moved on to their next victim. This is the harsh reality of people pleasing, and it's time to break free from it. Imagine a life where you're no longer at the mercy of everyone else's demands. Imagine a world where you can say no without feeling guilty. A world where you can prioritize your own needs without worrying about what others think. Isn't that something you deserve? Isn't that something you want? To take control of your life, to live for yourself and not for the approval of others. The first step toward this freedom is understanding that you are worthy of your own time, your own love, and your own energy. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. And let's be clear, this isn't about being selfish. Far from it, it's about self-respect. It's about acknowledging that you can't give from an empty cup. It's about understanding that your happiness is just as important as anyone else's. You have a right to live your life on your terms, to prioritize your health, your happiness, and your goals. And if that means saying no to someone who's taking advantage of you, so be it. You don't owe anyone anything but honesty and respect, and anyone who truly cares for you will understand that. But here's what often happens. When you start setting boundaries, when you begin to say no more often, people will try to guilt trip you. They'll try to make you feel bad for taking care of yourself. They'll say things like, "You always used to help me," or "I can't believe you're saying no." But that's just manipulation. Don't fall for it. You are not responsible for anyone's happiness but your own, and if they can't understand that, it's time to reconsider the relationship. Real love and respect come from mutual understanding, not from one person constantly sacrificing their own well-being for the other's convenience. Let me ask you something else. How much longer are you willing to tolerate this? How much longer will you allow others to drain your energy, time, and resources without giving anything in return? The choice is yours. You can continue to let others take advantage of you, or you can start taking control of your life, your boundaries, and your happiness. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable at first, but the moment you start standing up for yourself is the moment you start to reclaim your life. And trust me, it's worth it. You have the right to say no. You have the right to take care of yourself. And you have the right to live a life where you are not being used. You are not a tool for others to exploit. You are a person with needs, desires, and goals, and it's time to let the world know. You will no longer let others take advantage of you. Have you ever felt that uncomfortable, gnawing feeling in the pit of your stomach when someone asks you for something and you know you're already stretched to your limit? You're already overwhelmed, tired, and running on empty, but you still say yes, you still give in. Why do we do this to ourselves? Is it out of guilt, fear, or a desperate need to be liked, to be seen as helpful? It's time to face the truth. This cycle is draining you and it's not sustainable. You can't keep living like this, allowing others to take advantage of your kindness and generosity without considering the toll it takes on you. It's time to put your needs first, before you lose yourself completely. Think about it. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're telling yourself that you don't matter, that your needs aren't important, that the happiness of others is more important than your own peace of mind. But guess what? You matter. Your time, your energy, and your well-being are just as important as anyone else's. You can't continue pouring from an empty cup and expect to have anything left to give. It's not selfish to take care of yourself, it's necessary. If you don't protect your own boundaries, no one else will. And here's the kicker. People will continue to take advantage of you as long as you let them. If you keep saying yes, even when it hurts, they'll just assume that you're always available, always willing to help, and always ready to sacrifice your own needs for theirs. Why? Because you've trained them to believe that you're an endless source of support with no limits. But this is a dangerous trap. The more you give, the more they take, and the more you lose yourself in the process. You're not a superhero, and you're not meant to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. So how do you break free from this cycle? It starts with acknowledging the problem. You have to recognize that you've allowed this dynamic to unfold and that the only way to change it is to take responsibility for your own boundaries. This means learning to say no without guilt. It means understanding that you don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your time and energy. And most importantly, it means realizing that your worth is not tied to how much you give to others. Your worth is inherent. And it doesn't depend on your ability to constantly please everyone around you. The psychological impact of constantly giving without receiving is more significant than you might think. Over time, it leads to burnout, resentment, and a profound sense of unfulfillment. You start to feel like a walking ATM of favors, always there to help, but never receiving anything in return. And even worse, you begin to question your own worth. Are you only valuable because of what you do for others? Is your existence defined by how much you can give? The answer, my friend, is no. You are valuable because of who you are, not what you can do for someone else. And once you internalize this truth, you'll begin to see that your worth is not up for negotiation. You might be thinking, but what if I let someone down? What if I disappoint them by saying no? Let me be clear, anyone who truly values you will understand when you set boundaries. They will respect your no just as much as they would appreciate your yes. And if they don't, if they try to guilt trip you or manipulate you into doing something against your will, that's a red flag. These are the people who are taking advantage of you, and it's time to walk away from that kind of relationship. You deserve people in your life who uplift you, who respect your time, and who understand that you have needs too. But here's where the challenge lies. It's not just about saying no to others, it's about saying yes to yourself. It's about taking a stand for your own happiness, your own peace of mind, and your own dreams. Think about the things you've put on the back burner because you were too busy helping others. What dreams have you sacrificed? What opportunities have you missed? The moment you start setting boundaries, you make space for your own growth and well-being. You make space to pursue your passions, your goals, and the things that bring you joy, and that's what you truly deserve. Setting boundaries can be uncomfortable at first, there's no denying that. You might face resistance from people who are used to having their way with you. They might be upset, or they might even try to make you feel guilty for putting yourself first. But don't let that discourage you. The moment you start standing up for yourself is the moment you start taking back control of your life. And once you establish those boundaries, you'll be amazed at how much stronger, more confident, and empowered you feel. You'll start to recognize your own worth, and the people who truly respect and care for you will fall into alignment with that truth. And let's not forget about the emotional toll this all takes. Have you ever felt drained, exhausted, or emotionally depleted after constantly saying yes to others? That's because emotional labor is real. It's not just about doing things for others. It's about the mental and emotional energy you invest in making sure they're happy, even when it comes at the cost of your own happiness. And you know what? You don't owe anyone that kind of sacrifice. Your emotions are valuable, and your mental health should be a top priority. Saying no allows you to protect your emotional energy and create space for your own self-care. One of the biggest challenges you'll face when learning to say no is the fear of being judged. It's natural to worry about what others will think of you when you start setting boundaries, especially if they're used to you being the go-to person for everything. But here's the truth. The right people will respect you for setting boundaries. They'll admire your ability to stand up for yourself, and they'll be inspired by your strength. The people who try to shame you or make you feel bad for taking care of yourself are the ones you need to distance yourself from. So I ask you again, how much longer are you going to let others take advantage of you? How much longer are you going to allow guilt and fear to control your decisions? You have the power to change this right now. You can start by saying no to what drains you and yes to what fuels you. You can begin to prioritize your own happiness, your own needs, and your own well-being. And when you do, you'll begin to see the difference it makes in your life. You'll feel lighter, freer, and more in control of your own destiny. The world doesn't get to dictate your worth, only you do. It's time to stop letting others take advantage of you and start living life on your own terms. Imagine this. You're walking down the street, feeling good, in control, and at peace with yourself. You've started saying no when needed, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your own well-being. And then out of nowhere, someone asks for your help again. Your immediate thought is, I can't say no to them. They'll think I'm selfish. That familiar guilt begins to creep in, doesn't it? It's a battle that so many of us face, one where we question whether putting ourselves first is truly justified. But I want you to understand something. Feeling guilty for protecting your time and energy is not only unproductive, it's harmful. It's time to push that guilt aside and realize that saying no is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. We've all been conditioned to think that saying no is a sign of weakness or selfishness. We've been taught that we should always be available for others, always be willing to help, and always prioritize others' needs before our own. But guess what? This idea isn't just outdated, it's damaging. No one can pour from an empty cup. If you continue to say yes to everyone else while neglecting yourself, you'll eventually burn out. You'll feel drained, unappreciated, and most importantly, disconnected from your true self. So why keep doing it? Why keep sacrificing your mental, emotional, and physical well-being for people who are only interested in what you can do for them? It's time to stop allowing guilt to control your decision. When you say no, you are not saying that you don't care. You are saying that your needs are just as important as theirs. You are asserting your boundaries, and you are communicating that your time, energy, and resources are valuable. And let me tell you, when you start to set these boundaries, you will notice a significant shift. People will start to respect you more. They will understand that you are not an endless well of resources and favors. And those who truly care about you will not take offense. They will support your decision to protect your own peace and well-being. This is a process, and it's going to take time. Breaking free from the cycle of always saying yes is hard. It requires a shift in mindset. But here's the truth. When you prioritize yourself, you show others how they should treat you. If you want respect, you have to start respecting yourself first. Boundaries aren't just a way to protect yourself from others, they are a way to teach others how to treat you. By saying no, you're teaching people that you have limits, and those limits must be respected. You're teaching them that you value yourself, your time, and your energy. And anyone who truly cares about you will learn to honor those boundaries. Think about the power of that. No longer will you be the person who is constantly bending over backward for others. No longer will you feel exhausted and unappreciated. No longer will you let others dictate how much of yourself you can give. Instead, you will be the person who stands strong, who takes control of their own life, and who demands the respect they deserve. You'll feel empowered, confident, and most importantly, you'll feel free. Free from the guilt, free from the pressure, free from the constant strain of overextending yourself for people who don't even appreciate it. But here's the catch. You can't just say no to others, you need to say yes to yourself. It's time to start putting yourself first. You need to ask yourself, what do I need to thrive? What makes me happy? What do I need to recharge and feel fulfilled? These are the questions that matter now. The truth is, when you start saying yes to yourself, you'll find that your energy and your enthusiasm for life will grow. You'll be more present, more engaged, and more fulfilled. Your relationships will shift too. When you stop being the person who says yes to everything, you give space for relationships that are built on mutual respect, understanding, and balance. And let me tell you something else. Setting boundaries isn't about being harsh or cold. It's not about being rude or inconsiderate. It's about creating a healthy dynamic where both parties' needs are respected. When you learn to say no, you're not rejecting people. You're rejecting the idea that you should have to sacrifice your own well-being to make others happy. You're choosing to take care of yourself so that when you do say yes, it comes from a place of genuine willingness, not resentment or obligation. Here's the thing. People who genuinely care about you won't take offense when you say no. They will understand that you have your own life, your own needs, and your own boundaries. If they do get upset, that's a sign that they may be the ones who have been taking advantage of you all along. And you know what? You don't need that kind of energy in your life. You deserve people who respect you, who honor your time and your space, and who understand that you too have limits. The most important lesson here is that it's okay to say no. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign that you're finally taking control of your life and putting yourself first. And you know what? The world will not fall apart because you said no. In fact, you'll find that when you start setting boundaries, you will have more energy, more time, and more capacity to help others in a way that is genuine and fulfilling. You'll be able to show up for the people who truly matter because you will have taken the time to take care of yourself first. So I ask you again, are you ready to stop letting others take advantage of you? Are you ready to set boundaries, to say no when necessary, and to prioritize your own needs? If the answer is yes, then it's time to take that first step. It's time to reclaim your life, your energy, and your happiness. It's time to start living for yourself and not for the approval of others. The power is in your hands. And trust me, when you start standing up for yourself, you'll never look back. I want you to take a moment and think about how many times you've found yourself in a situation where you said yes to someone's request, even though you knew deep down it wasn't right for you. Maybe it was something small, like running an errand for someone, or lending them money when you couldn't afford it. Or maybe it was something big, like giving up an opportunity for your own growth just to fulfill someone else's need. How did it feel? Likely it didn't feel good. Likely it felt like you were compromising something important in exchange for something that didn't really serve you. That's because when you give in to others at the expense of your own well-being, you're making a trade you never signed up for. The issue here isn't just about saying yes to too many things. It's about the unspoken belief that your needs don't matter as much as those of others. Think about the last time you felt completely drained after helping someone. Was it worth it? Did they even appreciate the effort you put in, or did they just move on to the next thing, expecting you to be there when they needed something else? This is the pattern. You keep giving and they keep taking. And before long, you find yourself exhausted, frustrated, and resentful, wondering why no one is ever there for you in the same way you're there for them. It's time to break this cycle. Here's the hard truth. When you allow others to take advantage of you, you're not just doing a disservice to yourself, you're enabling them to continue their behavior. People who exploit your kindness and generosity will continue to do so until you set clear boundaries. They don't see the cost to you. They don't feel the weight of your sacrifice. All they know is that you'll come through for them every time, no questions asked. But here's the thing, you're not a doormat. You're not here to be someone else's emotional punching bag or a convenient source of help whenever they need it. You have your own life, your own dreams, and your own limitations. So why do we allow this to happen? Why do we let guilt, fear, and the desire to please others take precedence over our own happiness? The reason is simple. We've been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to how much we can give. We've been taught that being helpful and accommodating is virtuous, that our self-worth depends on how much we sacrifice for others. But here's the catch, this is a lie. Your value doesn't come from what you do for other people. It comes from who you are as a person. And when you start recognizing this truth, you'll understand that it's okay to say no. It's okay to put your own needs first because you matter. You are enough just as you are. If we're being honest, this issue isn't just about what others are doing to us. It's also about what we're doing to ourselves. We're allowing the narrative that our needs aren't important to play out in our own mind. We're constantly telling ourselves, it's okay, I can handle this, or they need me and I can't let them down. But at what cost? The cost is your mental, emotional, and physical health. And if you keep going down this road, you're not going to have anything left to give anyone, not even yourself. You have to start recognizing that your well-being is just as important as anyone else's, and if you don't protect it, no one else will. The good news is that it's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to set boundaries and start prioritizing yourself. And it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. It's going to feel like you're being selfish or unkind, but that's simply not true. You are taking control of your life, and you are choosing to invest in yourself, just as you would invest in your future or in the people who truly matter. It's about balance. It's about knowing when to say yes, but also knowing when to say no. And when you get it right, when you start protecting your energy and respecting your limits, you'll feel an immense sense of peace and clarity that comes from finally taking ownership of your own life. Think of it this way. Every time you say no to someone else's request, you're saying yes to yourself. You're choosing to honor your time, your needs, and your limits. And that's something powerful. It's not about turning into a cold, self-centered person. It's about cultivating self-respect. Because when you respect yourself, you set the standard for how others treat you. You teach them that you're not a vending machine for favors, that your time is valuable and your energy isn't to be taken for granted. And those who truly care about you will understand that. They will appreciate the boundaries you set, and they'll respect you even more for having the courage to put yourself first. This shift in mindset takes time, and it's going to require some work. You'll have to unlearn years of people-pleasing habits, and that's no easy task. But the moment you begin to say no with confidence, the moment you start to recognize your own worth, something incredible happens. You start attracting the right kind of people into your life. People who respect your time, who value your energy, and who are willing to give just as much as they take. You begin to build relationships that are reciprocal, healthy, and fulfilling. No more one-sided dynamics where you're always the one giving. It's about creating balance. But you know what? It's not just about other people. This is about you. This is about reclaiming your life, your time, and your happiness. You have the power to decide who gets to have a piece of you. You get to choose where you invest your energy. And the best part is, when you make these choices from a place of self-respect and clarity, you'll start to see that your relationships, your opportunities, and your overall quality of life will improve in ways you never expected. So, let's stop pretending that giving endlessly is a sign of virtue. Let's stop pretending that constantly saying yes to everyone else is what makes us a good person. The truth is, you don't need to sacrifice your happiness to be loved or appreciated. You don't need to give up your peace to please anyone. And when you start to say no to what drains you, you'll make room for the things that truly nourish you, things that inspire you, things that bring you joy, and things that allow you to grow into the person you were always meant to be. It's time to take back your power. It's time to stop letting others take advantage of you and start living life on your own terms. We've talked a lot about boundaries, about saying no, and about the importance of putting yourself first. But I want you to understand something even deeper. Saying no isn't just about rejecting requests from others. It's about rejecting the limiting beliefs that you've carried with you for so long. It's about rejecting the idea that your worth is tied to your ability to constantly give, to be there for everyone else, and to put yourself last. This is the moment where you need to confront the story you've been telling yourself. The story that says, I have to do everything for everyone, or I'm not a good person. Well, that's a lie, and it's time to rewrite it. Every time you give in to that pressure, whether it's from other people or from yourself, you're denying your own needs. And you've been doing this for so long that it's become a pattern. Something you don't even think twice about. You might even feel guilty the moment you try to set a boundary, almost as if you're betraying someone or something. But here's the hard truth. You are not betraying anyone by taking care of yourself. In fact, you are doing everyone a favor. Why? Because when you say no, you are not just saying no to someone else's request. You're saying yes to your own well-being, your own growth, your own future. You're choosing to live in alignment with what truly matters to you rather than living according to someone else's agenda. Now let's talk about the fear that comes with setting boundaries. I know that one of the biggest reasons we hesitate to say no is fear. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of being rejected. Fear of losing people in our lives. But I want you to ask yourself, what's worse? Disappointing someone who doesn't respect your boundaries, or sacrificing your peace for a relationship that's built on imbalance? When you allow fear to dictate your decisions, you give away your power. You give others the ability to control your actions, your time, and your energy. But when you start to push past that fear and embrace the discomfort of saying no, you take back control. You take ownership of your life and your choices. But let's face it, some people are not going to be happy with your boundaries. They might try to guilt trip you or manipulate you or even make you feel like you're doing something wrong. And that's where the real test lies. This is when you need to dig deep and remind yourself, I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of living a life that reflects my own values, not someone else's. The people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, and the ones who don't, they will fall away. And that's okay. Because the right people will stay, and those are the people who are worth your time and energy. The key here is understanding that your boundaries are not walls. They are not meant to keep people out. They are meant to protect your inner world. Boundaries are about creating a healthy space where you can thrive, where you can be yourself without the constant pressure to meet everyone else's expectations. And once you start enforcing those boundaries, you'll find that your relationships become more fulfilling. You'll start attracting people who are aligned with your values, who understand your needs, and who will respect your time and energy. And as those relationships grow, you'll experience a sense of freedom, peace, and happiness that you may have never known before. But here's the most important part of all of this. You have to keep going. You have to commit to saying no when it's necessary and to saying yes to yourself every single day. This is not a one-time thing. This is a lifelong practice. It's about getting comfortable with discomfort, getting comfortable with setting boundaries, and getting comfortable with putting your needs first. And you know what? The more you practice, the easier it gets. The more you say no, the less guilt you'll feel. The more you prioritize yourself, the more natural it will become. And before you know it, you'll be living a life that's not dictated by the demands of others, but by your own choices. The freedom that comes from taking back control of your life is unmatched. It's not about being selfish or uncaring. It's about showing up for yourself in a way that allows you to show up for others in the most meaningful way possible. When you are healthy, when you are happy, when you are fulfilled, you have so much more to offer the world. But when you give and give without taking the time to nurture yourself, you become depleted, you become resentful, and ultimately you lose sight of who you really are. Remember, your worth is not determined by what you do for others. Your worth is inherent. It's part of who you are, and no amount of giving will ever change that. The only thing that can change is how you value yourself and how you allow others to treat you. It's time to stop letting others take advantage of you, and it's time to start honoring your own worth. It's time to live a life where you set the rules, where you take responsibility for your happiness, and where you finally stop apologizing for choosing yourself. So I challenge you, starting today, make the commitment to say no when it's needed, to set those boundaries, to protect your peace. You have the power to take control of your life, your time, and your energy. And once you do, you'll see just how much more fulfilling your life can be. You'll see how much more you can give, not out of obligation, but out of genuine love and care. And you'll see how much more you'll be respected, valued, and appreciated by the people who truly matter. It's time to take your life back. It's time to stop letting others take advantage of you. It's time to say yes to yourself.